Hi everyone, and welcome to this live stream today. Thank you for everyone following this stream. We are really happy that so many would like to get an idea of Denmark and what it's like to live and work here. My name is Pernille, and I'm a project coordinator at International House North Denmark, and you will get to hear much more about this later in this live stream. So today we hope to introduce you to life in Denmark, so you get an idea of how this is and in general how it is to work and live here. And right now we are live at the main library in the city center of Ålborg. And we are here today as part of an initiative called Welcome September, which is a national initiative that has the purpose of welcoming new international citizens to the region. And actually right now on the other side of this room that we're in, we have a live, an in-person fair as well that also takes place every year with the same purpose to welcome new internationals to the region. And this is all I'm just going to say right now, and then I would like to give the word to our moderator of the day, Cecilia.
Thank you, Anita. My name is Cecilia. I'm a journalist, and I will be your moderator today. And I'm really looking forward to the next hour. We're going to get to know what it's like to work and live in Denmark and here in Ålborg. So today's program will start out with two experts who will tell us what it's like to work and live here in Ålborg. And then we'll move on to work in Denmark. And we'll get the chance to hear from two spouses, what they feel about living here in Denmark and especially in Ålborg. And then we'll have a chat with Ålborg International Friends and Ålborg Rugby Club Lynet before Pernille will get back on stage and round it all up. So I hope you enjoy the next hour. So Pernille, maybe you'd like to tell me a bit more about what is Welcome September and if this is a recurring event?
Yeah. So Welcome September is a recurring event that we have every year in the month of September. And it is actually a national initiative where we have 38 different partners all over Denmark that has come together and arranged for 70 different events all over the country, all to welcome new international citizens to Denmark. So this is a part of a project called Talent to a Green Denmark that is led by someone called Copenhagen Capacity. One could say that the reason that we have these welcome events is because we want new international citizens to feel welcome when they arrive in Denmark, because we know that it can be overwhelming and confusing and there are many different questions to be asked. So we just want to make sure that everyone feels welcomed properly. And also because Denmark, as many other countries in Europe, is at the moment facing a lack of workforce. So this is also one of the reasons why we have this focus because we want to attract more workers to Denmark to help with the much needed workforce. So it's really important for us that all new international citizens have somewhere where they feel welcome. Yeah. And as I said, right now at the moment on the other side of this wall, we actually have a fair. This also takes place every year in September, also as part of this Welcome September initiative. So if you at one point should end up moving to Denmark, you can yourself attend this fair. And right now, so today the fair is from 4 to 6 p.m. And we have had some stand-up comedy, and there's a lot of different standholders that can tell everyone about life in Denmark and what North Denmark has to offer. So there is some free ice cream out there. There is balloons for the kids and cake and coffee, and there's just a really good vibe out there. Yeah, so we really hope that after today, of course, everyone feels welcome, that all of you watching at home has gotten some kind of understanding of how Denmark is like to live in and what it's like to work here. And also so you know when you do have some questions where to direct them. Yes. Yeah.
So that's going to be a really nice evening. We're looking into ice cream, balloons, comedy, what's not to like.
Yeah.
And I hope at the end of the session that you'll give some more advice about where to go and how people can use International House Denmark.
Mm-hmm.
So what services you offer, but I think we'll get into that at the end of the session when we're done talking with all the experts and the spouses and all the different organizations here in Ålborg working with how to feel welcome in Ålborg.
Yeah.
So I think that's about it. And now we'll have to welcome our two expats on stage.
Yeah.
So here we have two experts. So we have Dave S. Chandler and Barbara Porcella.
Close enough.
Almost close enough with the names. So really nice to have you guys here. Dave, you are working at Anybody Technologies, and Barbara, you work at Blue Power Partners. And Barbara, you came here as a student, while you, Dave, was already known to this current employee before coming here.
That's right.
Yep. So why did you guys choose Denmark and Ålborg as your career destination?
Yeah, so for me, it was more about finding the job. It's a very specialized job, and there aren't so many options around in the world where I can get this kind of a job. So it happened to be here in Ålborg. It happened to be here in Denmark. So I'm here.
And we're really glad about that.
Yes.
And how about you, Barbara? How did you end up here?
So, as you said, I came here as a student, and before coming, I researched a lot the educational system in Denmark. I found it to be very interesting and different from the one from my home country in Italy. So that attracted me to Denmark, and then that's why I moved to Denmark, specifically to Ålborg and Ålborg University, because I felt like it had the best offer that I could find.
Of course. So do you find it any difficult studying here and working here? Like, what is the difference for you? So that may be most for you, Barbara.
I would say it's been interesting as a transition. So transitioning from being a student in Ålborg and seeing the town as this university city, and then entering the workforce and therefore transitioning to being a part of the workforce and what it means to build your own career in Denmark. And indeed facing a few challenges, but also accomplishing quite a lot.
So how did you find your current job, Dave?
Yeah, I was also actually doing my PhD in Italy, and then I was so there is this research group here, and the company where I'm working right now, it's actually a spin-off from the university itself. So they do really amazing work, and I was here during my PhD a few times, and so that's how I kind of got to know the group at the university, then also the company, and when I finished my PhD and somehow things clicked, they had an opening, not immediately after my PhD, but sometime later they had an opening, and I managed to get the job here. So that was nice. That was good, and that's how I ended up here.
Yeah, and it's really nice that you said yes to the job. So yes, you must have liked the city.
I like the city, and I think the few times I was here in Denmark before, during my PhD, I really liked being here. I think there's something about being here that I felt in my second trip. It was only for a week, but I kind of felt everything was generally some feeling of happiness around. I couldn't really pinpoint why, but I felt just calm and happy, and kind of felt like this could be a good place to live here.
We think so too.
I agree with that as well. Of course, I'd say Ålborg is a really nice mid-sized city. So it's big enough that you have everything that you need, but also not so big that you feel lost in it, like maybe in a big capital city, for example. So personally, I really enjoy that part of it.
Yeah, that's my experience coming from a big capital city. So I was born and I grew up in New Delhi in India, so big city. And yeah, so it's nice to be in a smaller city and where you can get to place quick, and there's just less chaos to deal with in everyday life.
I think you're right about that. You can get from one end to another quite easy.
Yes, and fast, and you don't spend a lot of time traveling every day.
No, exactly.
Little things, but they add up.
So I think you basically already answered that, but what do you like about Denmark in general, maybe? Because you talked a lot about what you like about Ålborg, but how about Denmark in general? How do you like it here?
Go first.
Yes. So I would say it's been a little bit interesting to see the similarities with my own culture, but also quite a few differences from, for example, Italian culture. And overall, just I think Denmark has a lot of things that I like. And it's just been, I think, overall a really good time. I've been here now for 9 years, and I think just the life that I've been able to build here has been something that maybe I would have seen myself being able to build the same way in Italy, for example. So I really do appreciate that.
So I can probably add up a little bit more, because I haven't been here such a long time yet. So hopefully, but I've been here about 1.5 years, and I think for me my biggest positive thing about Denmark is the bureaucracy. It's the amount of digitalization and how different departments in the government, they communicate with each other. So that makes life very easy as a foreigner coming into the country, and it's just easy. And also I got a lot of help from the International House at the beginning. I think that's really amazing, and it's not often that you see something like that working.
No, I can imagine that. So seems like you really like to be here, like to live here, like to work here. How did you find it different from the work culture from the countries where you guys come from?
So I spent actually a lot of time before in Italy during my PhD. So I try to compare it to that. And then I think for me the biggest difference was in terms of work culture is the small things, that we don't take so many breaks here in Denmark, but that's the small breaks, like go for a small coffee. It's quite big in Italy. So it's the good thing about that is your day is actually shorter because you're just more efficient and you're working all the time. But then you do miss the socializing part. You do miss that tiny 10-minute break in the middle of the day to just exchange some ideas, have a little break, and then get back to work. So I think that's one of the big difference I noticed. Mm-hmm. And other than that, I think it's quite easy to approach to your colleagues, to talk to them, and that's been the differences for me, I think.
Mm-hmm. So we need more coffee breaks in Denmark.
Not so. Maybe, yeah. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Well, depends, I think, from people to people.
Yeah, exactly. But
I don't take 4 coffees a day, so.
No, that would be an exciting day at work. But I think you're right about that. There's a lot of socializing happening while getting that coffee and having a small talk during the coffee break. So maybe we have to think about that. How about you, Barbara? How do you find it different here in Denmark when it comes to work culture?
Mm-hmm. I would say I don't have so much experience with working in Italy, but just from my perspective, I think it's more balanced, the work life in Denmark. I think there is quite a focus on keeping it balanced between family and work, and really having a focus on this work-life balance a lot. I think that's what I can see, that I've been able to see a lot in my own work now, and also then comparing it to what I hear from Italy, for example. I think maybe it's not as, let's say, focused in that regard. And similarly also with, just I don't know, having also more maybe flexibility here at work, and also having, for example, a lot of possibility to work from home or from remote. I think that this is becoming more and more common in Denmark, while compared to Italy, I think it's maybe lacking a little bit behind still in that regard. So I would say that's like my main observations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you're really right about that. And, you know, it's hard to figure out, is it COVID or is it just a Danish work culture? So I guess it's hard to figure out what is the reason for this. But I think you're really right about that we have a lot of flexibility, and we're talking a lot about this whole, work-life balance. So did you think you found the work-life balance here in Ålborg for you guys?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think it's good. Yeah. I'm happy with that.
Yeah. So you figured out how to do work and like the rest of your life here in Ålborg?
Would you
Yes,
like to
I
start?
would say so. Yes, I think I find myself, being able to work a full-time job, but then also having the time to enjoy my passions, my hobbies outside of work hours, and having the energy and time for that. So that's, for me, a really big, important part of my life here in Denmark.
Yeah, I could imagine that. Could really imagine that. So do you think it would be possible for you in Italy, for example, to work 20 or maybe more? So work a lot, 37 hours, and still have the time to do whatever else you want to do with your life. Would that be possible in Italy?
Probably. I'm not so sure, because I was actually not working in a company in Italy, so I was in a university environment, and I would imagine it's somewhat different than working in a company. But probably, I think the days are a little bit longer in Italy just because of the breaks you're taking. So maybe it's a little bit tough in that sense. Here you can get away a little bit early, and that probably helps.
Yeah, of course. But then you kind of get it, the whole social life, you kind of get that adapted into the work.
Yeah.
As you told me earlier.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a way of doing it as well. So it's been really nice having you guys and hear what it's like for you to work and live here. And I hope you had a good time.
Yes.
Thank
So
you.
I think we'll move on to the next part. So now I'd like to introduce you guys to Sofie Eidesgaard. You are working at Work in Denmark as a recruitment consultant.
Yes.
Welcome on stage.
Thank you so much, and thank you for inviting me and for allowing me to tell you about Work in Denmark and to present what Work in Denmark can help international job seekers with.
It's a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
But maybe you'd like to start out. What is Work in Denmark?
Right, yes. So Work in Denmark is actually an office, a part of the Danish Ministry of Employment. So we are a public agency. We're also part of EURES, European Employment Service, which is EU's official network for international recruitment. So we are a public service, and we are all about helping Danish companies to recruit international talents to Denmark. And all of our services are free of charge, both for job seekers and for employers. So we're just here to help.
And that's really nice of you guys. I think a lot of people need that when they get to a new country. But who can receive help from you in Work in Denmark?
Right. So Work in Denmark, we help highly skilled and professionals and skilled international job seekers with finding a job in Denmark. That's our primary thing to do. So we help make jobs visible, and we make it easy. You know, we're sort of the entrance to what are my job possibilities in Denmark, and what do I need to do when I come to Denmark. So that's for international job seekers. And we also help Danish companies. The Danish companies that cannot find enough people to employ, we help them to make sure that their job vacancies are visible to internationals. So those are our two...
like your main focus.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's all about jobs and job possibilities in Denmark, concrete jobs. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And make the link between the workers and the workplaces, right?
You're exactly right. Exactly, yes. So we're trying to make it visible, you know, so that internationals can see with their professional background. Are there any job possibilities for me in Denmark? And we help Danish companies to be able to fill their vacancies so that we can keep growing in Denmark, because we need a lot of people to come to Denmark to start working.
Exactly. So you're kind of making a bridge between these two,
Exactly.
so they can find each other.
Yes.
Yeah. That's really nice and really important work that you're doing. So what kind of services do you offer the internationals that come here to Denmark and wants to work?
Right. Well, actually, we have a lot of services for internationals who are not yet in Denmark. Also for people who are in Denmark already, but most of our clients are not in Denmark yet. So the services we provide are all about, how can I find jobs? And if I find a job, then what do I need to do when I come to Denmark? So what is really important for internationals to know is that we have gathered all information in English on our website, and it's called workindenmark.dk. I know you're going to send out information to everybody listening after this presentation,
Of course.
so they can find the link. But on our website, we have all the information you need to know. There's a job portal. We usually have around 3,000 to 4,000 jobs where English is a requirement. Now, we speak Danish in Denmark, but we do have such a huge need for staff or for international employees in Denmark that there are quite a lot of job possibilities in Denmark if you just speak English or German, which is also quite big in Denmark. So on our job portal, workindenmark.dk, you can search for jobs that require English. So that's the biggest thing for everybody to know. Now, a lot of internationals also know that when you apply for a job, it is a little bit different from one country to another. And we, of course, understand that as well. So we also have information on our website about like the Danish style CV, or what Danish recruiters expect when they are contacted by international job seekers, or some of the unwritten rules to a Danish job interview, for instance, both online and on site.
Yeah, because there must be a lot.
Yeah, exactly. All of those things that you don't know when you're from another country and you move to Denmark. So we have both e-learning, we have video tutorials, and we also provide the possibility that internationals can sign up for webinars about both job possibilities and job seeking. So that we sort of help you to get a quick overview of, okay, what's the technicalities for Denmark? So that's sort of two things, right? The job portal, information about job seeking. But we also have information about, the sectors in Denmark where we have a huge demand for people, like within IT and robotics, or life science, biotech, or green energy, or hospitality, medical services, offshore, you name it. So we do have gathered information about the sectors with a high demand for employees in Denmark too. So that if you are, for instance, an engineer within, green energy, you can actually find information about the larger players. We have videos with expats working in that area, and we have companies also explaining, so what do we do, and how do we accept internationals to our company. So that's a really good start to visit our website to find that information. And then again, when you get a job in Denmark, we have both information about how to register, whether you need a work permit, whether how do I find housing. Now, we don't provide these services. We give you an overview, and then we link to the correct authority. So that if you go via our website and you, for instance, have found a job in North Denmark, our job portal, you can actually search out for areas in Denmark, for instance, North Denmark, where there's a huge industry and a lot of green tech jobs, for instance, a lot of other things too. Then we would forward you to the International House of North Denmark, of course, which is the local organization you need to contact to understand how to register, how to find a place to live. If you have kids, how are they going to go to school, etc. So we're sort of the entry point for internationals to find this.
Yeah, so you're really an entry point, but you're also a link building point to make it a lot easier to figure all these things out when you get to a new country and how do I do everything here.
Exactly, and it's actually, we are of course also present on social media. So we have, for international job seekers, they can follow us on Facebook or LinkedIn, and that's where we publish job vacancies or events or other things, that could be interesting for them. And, you're welcome to do that if you think that's interesting.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So do you have any advice for newcomers coming to North Denmark?
Right, yes, I do. I definitely do. If you're interested in North Denmark, you're welcome to contact us at Work in Denmark, and we would be happy to tell you about job possibilities, but we would definitely also forward you to like Pernille or somebody else from International House Ålborg, because they know a lot about the local area. So that's the one thing. The second best tip, we talk to a lot of internationals from all over the world. They can reach us by phone or by email. Everybody's welcome to contact us. What we experience is that it's really worth your while to look into the expectations of the CV and the cover letter or motivational letter to see, what do Danish recruiters expect? Because it's just a technicality of what you need to include, and that actually gets you to the job interviews. So that would be my primary advice. Check out what Danish companies expect.
Yeah, and that must be the goal, to end up at this whole getting the job, and that must be really nice job to have. So what do you find that people are most surprised by when they start to get the interest for Denmark and look into how do I get a work, how do I live here? What surprises people the most?
Right. So I've been doing this for more than 10 years, and I've been talking to internationals who actually came to Denmark a lot and asked them these questions because I need to know, right, to do my job. So it's a really good question. Most highlight that it's wonderful to work in Denmark. The workplace culture is brilliant. You get to really grow quickly, and you get an interesting job, and you have a voice. So even though you might be a junior person in a company, you're hired because you are an expert on some sort of a matter. So you are actually expected to voice your opinion if you think your manager's making a decision that's not best for the company. So that's something that surprises internationals a lot, that you're supposed to go to your manager and say, I don't think that what you're deciding now is the best choice.
No.
In a polite manner, of course.
Of course, always.
Yeah.
So you really have a voice when you're working here in Denmark.
Apparently, yes.
That must be really important to point out. I think we're short on time now, but it was really interesting hearing from you. And I think a lot of people considering Denmark really would get something from talking to you.
Everybody's welcome to contact us at Work in Denmark. And thank you for having us today.
It was a pleasure having you here. Thank you for your time. All right, so now we have to welcome two spouses on stage. I would like to introduce you to Priya, and I won't even try to pronounce the last name. And then we have Nivedita Mishra.
Hello.
Close enough?
Yes, definitely.
Perfect. Thank you for being here with us on stage. So you guys are both here as a result of your husband's working here.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's really nice to have you here. But maybe you'd like to start out, what do you like about Ålborg and North Denmark in general?
You'd like to go first?
Okay, yeah, why not? Ålborg is a quiet and cozy town. So it's very beautiful and green. In fact, it's very different from the cities I have lived before. And like in general, Aalborg or not Denmark, it's very beautiful and it's very attractive. So I have been spending lots of time in exploring all the scattered towns, little towns along the coast of northern Denmark. Also, since it is very small, it is very easy to explore and reach the every nook and corner of the city. So that's what I say.
Yeah, I can really imagine that. And that's
her.
what we've been talking about earlier as well, that it's quite easy to get your way around and it's a beautiful place. So,
Yeah,
is it the same for you, Nived?
more or less. Thank you for having me here. So I would say that Aalborg is adding to what Priya said. Aalborg is very cozy, definitely. And also, like, I have a daughter who is 5 years old. The accessibility of the city to reach anywhere, and, like, go anywhere. She has like gymnastic class, karate class, her school, and swimming lessons, but without having a car, which is again environment friendly. I would say we can just walk to all these places, and we can accommodate it even on weekdays when I am working. She has her school, but so I would say definitely accessibility to me is something that keeps me in Aalborg. And also, you don't see that having a, like, being in a small city, you have the airport. So some of the bigger city like Odense does not have an airport. Aarhus has an airport, but it's far from the city, and not many flights are operational there. So one of the other big thing that I like about Aalborg, it's cozy and it's nice, and it also has an airport, which is very, I think, very beneficial for international.
Yeah, I think you're really right about that. So you talked a lot about kids. Is it a nice place to be a family with kids as well?
Yes, I would definitely say that the work-life balance that Denmark offers, and yes, in Aalborg also, that we have a lot of playgrounds, and like, again, I would stress on the accessibility. Maybe in big cities where my colleagues are from, I know that they have challenges when they have to take from different city, like different classes. They have to go in the subway, and not everything is nearby. But here the city area is so close, like, yeah, she goes to 4 classes in a week, and we still manage without a car, and we still reach there everywhere within 10-15 minutes.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yes.
So I think it's really
Yes.
nice to be in a place where you don't need a car. You can actually get your way around the
Yes.
city by bicycle or by walking.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
seems like you're doing that a lot here.
Yeah, I should definitely agree on her about that.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
So did you guys find it easy to settle here when you got here first?
Yeah, of course. We were able to find all the details or information which were necessary through the commune website. Actually, I should say Aalborg commune is really helpful. Then, of course, the international house. I'm afraid that I'll be like ambassador for the international house, because they are organizing many programs for the newcomers, like getting started. Then many like that. So in that you will get more information, how to what is that, open a bank account, for example, how to get an bus pass. So like that you will get all the basic information whatever is required for your stay. So you then, another important thing is, in Aalborg, unlike other countries, you won't feel left out if you are a newcomer. There is a bridge between the public and the government, I should say. Like, you won't feel, what is that, oh, I'm new, like I don't know what will happen, or I don't know anything. So the case in Aalborg is not at all like that. You will come to know everything. You can easily talk to anyone in the public or government. They are very friendly.
Yeah, I would slightly differ from my friend here.
Okay, that's interesting that you have another experience.
Yes,
but maybe you could tell a bit
because
more.
yeah, I would lie if I say that everything was easy, because I came just before COVID. So, and I didn't know many people out there. Like, we came and there were hardly only just one family from India that we knew. And I didn't know that the International House of North Denmark exists, or like probably because I had not done much homework back in India. So I would say that yes, I would not like settling was very easy. It took time finding a house. It took time finding a kindergarten to know how do you enroll your child in the government system so that she gets a place in the kindergarten. But I would say that now, like having known groups like now we have International House of North Denmark, which helped me to get a job actually. It was my first time that I came and I got the resume made and everything by International House. And then we have groups like World Group, which is a women spouse group for international. There I found friends and there I found, so community helped me, I would say, little bit. And then, yeah, of course, there is also an Indian community. We help each other, but yeah, we have to, I would just say that you have to reach the right, you have to get the information and reach the right groups.
Yeah, so you need to figure out where to
Yes.
find the information.
Yes.
And that seems
Yes.
a bit difficult for you, but
Yeah,
once
also
you first
maybe
got
because
it.
yeah, I came in COVID, so yeah, it was a lot different.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it must have been quite difficult to get here and everything is closed and shut down, but I think you managed quite well anyway. So you must have
Yes.
found your way anyway.
Yeah.
So how did you find a job here in Ålborg?
I have not found a one yet.
No.
I have been finding, like I came to Aalborg in the last July. I have got lots of help from the International House through their job seminars and the one-to-one meet, the spouse space program. Then also from the spouse space program from my husband's employer. I hope mostly all the companies will be having the spouse space programs. So from through those programs, I have got lots of help with my CV, resume, then my profile, like how to approach others. But I feel Denmark, its networking plays the major role in getting a job. So I am also into lots of networking. I hope I will definitely get a job soon.
Yeah, I hope so too. So we have to round it up in a couple of minutes,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
maybe, yeah.
I would just say that, yeah, I had my challenges, but I'm also a talent acquisition professional and a recruiter. So my first step was finding International House North Denmark and making my resume. And then I would just say that coming from the same area, I had like my share of what I can do, what I cannot, which employer to reach and things, because it's in my profession. So I think, yeah, I managed to find a job. And now I'm working with Vivino as a talent acquisition specialist.
Okay,
Yes.
that sounds really nice.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
with the social life, it seems like you got it all together and got a really good network up here. Or how is it with that? If you just have to say that in short. With social life, how is that working out here?
Yes, I think it is working out great for me now. Because yes, we do have Indian communities, we have different festivals. I'm a part of World Group, I'm a part of a book club. So yeah, I would say that. And obviously I have my Danish class where I have got some friends. So yes, it's all working out great.
That's really nice to hear.
It is actually very easy to find a friends in Aalborg. So if you want Danish friends, you should go and join in the local club. I have been the part of Aalborg West Roadrunners Club and knitting club in the Aalborg West. So I have many Danish friends. Then I got many other international friends through the job fairs, various job fairs. I attended various seminars conducted by Business Aalborg. Then also the space programs from my husband's employer. They have a spouse space get together every week. So through that also I can meet lots of people and I have a very good friends. Then at last, yeah, we have Indian community also to catch the Indian friends.
That sounds really nice.
Overall, it's very easy to find friends in Aalborg, guys.
So, bottom line, it's easy to find friends here in Ålborg, and that's really nice to hear. It was a pleasure having you here and hear what it's like to get to a new country, get to a new city, and how to find your way around. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
for
you so
inviting
much.
us.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
So now we'll have 2 local organizations here, and they'll give a 2-minute pitch of what it's like to be here in Ålborg and be here in Denmark. So at first, I'd like to say welcome to Christian Bach from Ålborg International Friends. And once again, back on stage, Barbara Porcella.
Porcella.
Oh, I'll get it right sometimes. From Ålborg Rugby Club, Lynel. So maybe you'd like to start out, Christian, and give a 2-minute pitch of Ålborg International Friends.
Yeah, so Ålborg International Friends, about 20 years ago, we saw there was absolutely nothing for internationals. Like, it's not like now we have this big fair and all these things, which is great, but at that time there was actually nothing. There was Erasmus students, and that was it. And we kind of wanted to do something for those students, and then over the years it's become more like, well, we would like to do something for everyone, like also for the kids, for the family. So that's who we're reaching out to now. It's like, so we do English language on purpose because most people that come here to Denmark don't speak Danish. So that's kind of where it all came from. Like people that come here but don't have a network or don't have anything to do. Also, like the ladies that was just here, it's a way for people to get into contact with other people, and we do it at least once a month, and so that's kind of what we do. Originally, it also came out of the churches wanting to try to combat loneliness of people that came, and so that's also one of the things that it's for. It's for creating community and just giving people something else to do than just study, and it's like, yeah, for the whole family. And we try to do things that it's not like extraordinary things. It's just somewhere people they want to go for a walk or go for a hike or play games or something like that. So it's just things like that.
Yeah, I think you get like the whole way around. You get the whole family and make some stuff for everyone to make it a nice place to be and a nice place to live.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. So how about you, Barbara? Maybe you'd like to tell us a bit about what Ålborg Rugby Club is doing here in Ålborg?
So Ålborg Rugby Club Lunet is a sports club that's located in the western side of Ålborg. As we are part of the Danish Rugby Union, we embrace the rugby values of passion, solidarity, respect, discipline, and integrity. In rugby, there is always a place for everyone, and the team always comes above the individual. As rugby is unfortunately not the most popular sport in Denmark, that means that actually you'll find many players, coaches, referees are actually expats coming from more rugby-playing countries. In our club, we welcome everyone, no matter age, gender, fitness or experience level, or nationality. And in fact, on the pitch, we usually speak quite a few different languages with each other. We train mixed men and women every Tuesday and Thursday from 6 to 8 at our pitches located at Johannes Minevej 41. And we're also a quite social club. Besides training, we also have sometimes beers after training, or we watch rugby together, or we throw parties after a game. So when you join the rugby club, you also join a very welcoming community that just enjoys having a good time together. So if someone is curious, you can actually follow us on social media, see what we've been up to, or also contact us directly just to hear a bit more.
Yeah, of course. So I think that's a really nice way of thinking it, that it's like a whole community that you get into. Do you have a lot of international coming to the rugby club, or is it mostly Danish people?
It is, I would say, mostly Danish people, but we have a few internationals in our team. And especially it's very common that, for example, Erasmus students coming here in Ålborg for university, maybe they come from France or Italy or the UK where they're already used to playing rugby. So they look for giving up their training. So they find us and join us maybe for just a season or two. And that's okay. Then we get a kind of continuous change of players and we get always, let's say, new experience. Players maybe that have played for many years and that come and bring a lot of value to our club. So that's been a really good part of it.
Yeah, I could really imagine that, like a lot of different nationalities gathering up, but all with the same focus. Yeah, that must be amazing.
Exactly.
Christian, what is the target group at Ålborg International Friends?
So yeah, like a little bit of what we talked about before. We try to, like, some of the things are targeted. Like this week, we're going to have something for students because we have a lady that works at the university. So we do something for students specifically because we've seen that that's a need they learn how to study and how to do some things. And then, but other than that, it's like we try to reach the whole family because that's one of the unique things now is some of the other groups go after specifics, where here we try to do events that's all the range, like from child to adult, and so, or try to do some of them where everyone would be able to. So also if we do a walk or something, it might be in two different sections for the ones that can walk a long way and for the ones that can't walk along. So we try to reach the whole family. And so that's kind of the target group. And then it's the group, like before, like people who don't speak Danish, because most people don't do that when they come here. So yeah, so that's why we keep the English language, so people would be able to participate.
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea. So what did you find that people get from joining Ålborg International Friends or joining Lynet? What do internationals get from joining?
I'd say it's a really nice way to grow your network and build your community when you first arrive, because instantly you join a team, you become a part of the team, and just suddenly you have this whole big family with you. So I think that's a really good way of just expanding the people that you know. It was for me as well, because I joined the rugby club right after I was done with my studies. So a lot of the network that I had at the time, a lot of the fellow students had moved away from Ålborg. So I was finding myself needing to build my network a little bit more again. So that was actually a really nice way of doing it. And also, getting out and getting a little bit fit again as well. So that's also been a really nice way to do it.
Well, sport, connecting people, right?
Exactly.
I think just an example from last Saturday, we had this welcome event where we have a free dinner and they come, and we had a lady, she came and I was doing other things and I sat down and I started, hey, are you doing okay? And she's like, yeah, this is so great. It just feels like home. This is from a person who just came a week ago, and she wasn't young, but she was missing her family. Her family was sleeping at that time because of a different time zone. So those are some of the things that Ålborg International Friends can do, and also other organizations. It's a way that you can get to know other people and be with other people. You can feel like home, although you're not home, but you can like talk to people. There's people that care about you. And yeah, that was very moving, like hearing that. And we just started the evening. It was like, oh, it feels like home. Oh, wow. That's
well, I think basically you guys with the different organizations, you're building a home away from home and a place where people can feel welcome and get to know some other people with the same interest.
Yeah.
I think that's a really important work. I think we have to round it up now, but it was really interesting hearing what you guys offer to internationals coming here to Ålborg. Really nice work you're doing. And thank you for your time up here. It was so interesting.
Thank you for letting us be here.
Thank you for having us.
Pleasure. All right. And now I have to welcome back on stage Pernille to talk a bit about International House North Denmark, which we've been talking a lot about during the last hour. But maybe you'd like to tell me in short, what is International House North Denmark?
Yes. So International House North Denmark is located in the city center of Ålborg. And we are part of Ålborg municipality, but we cover the whole region of North Denmark. So North Denmark has 11 municipalities and we cover all of them. And our focus is to attract, welcome, and retain international workers to the region. And we call ourselves the one-point entry to companies and international citizens because we try to make it this one-point entry to say because we have the house and in the house we have also Siri, which is where you go to get your residence permit. Then you have a citizen service right next to you where you can get CPR registered and you can get a yellow health card. And then we also have us as International House located there. So you get like the whole package when you come to us in terms of getting all your paperwork and getting settled in North Denmark. So we have both like a company focus where we help the North Danish companies with their international employees. And then we also just have the whole citizen side focus where we help internationals who come to North Denmark to get settled and in their job search.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what a lot of people have been talking about today. That's the nice thing about this one-point entry, where you just get everything sorted out. Because it must be so difficult when getting here from another country and trying to figure it all out.
Yeah.
But like, who's your target group or who can receive help from you in International House North Denmark?
Yeah, so we don't have like a specific target group, so we can help all internationals who come to North Denmark. And it doesn't matter if you are an international worker, if you already found a job in Denmark, but has questions about life in Denmark, getting settled, or if you would like some help in your job search because you haven't found work yet, or if you are a family who has questions about life in Denmark, if you are a student, if you're young, if you're old, it's really... as long as you're from outside of the Danish borders, then you're welcome.
Then you should feel very welcome. So you've been talking a bit about it, but what kind of services do you offer the internationals once they get here? You can help them with CPR and stuff like that, but what else can they get from International House North Denmark?
Yeah, so we have like a very broad focus. Our main service revolves around job search, and I think it's easier if I maybe just go through. I brought this roll up here that I can maybe just go through. So in terms of job search, we have some different offers. So for example, we have these seminars that we do each month. Two-parted seminar where the first half focuses on CV, how to build your CV, how to build your application, how to make an unsolicited application, because that is a really big thing in Denmark, to reach out to companies unsolicited, how you can prepare for the job interview. And then there's also a second part that is about LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is also very much used in Denmark. Exactly. So how you can build your LinkedIn profile, how you can expand your network via LinkedIn, how you can job search via LinkedIn. And we have these every month, except for like in July and August, so every other month. Then we also have one-to-one meetings regarding like job search, where you can get some feedback on your CV, you can get feedback on a cover letter, you can get some tips about the Danish job market, how to go about the job search, how is the job market even. So just tips to get started and where to start and where to end in your job search. Sometimes we also have these matchmaking seminars where you actually, as a job seeker, has the opportunity to come and meet some of the companies in North Denmark and to have like a matchmaking with them, to see if there could be someone you could hand over your CV to see if there could be made a match. We had actually one in April where we had 40 candidates who joined us, who all got to speak with some of the companies here in the region. Then we also have, because we have some different social media pages, we have Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. And on Facebook and Instagram, we have this initiative called Job Monday. So every Monday we post the jobs from the previous week that are relevant for internationals. So for these jobs, you don't need to speak Danish. So this is kind of an overview where you can go and see if there's anything relevant for you and your field. And if not, you can also just use it as a starting point to see which companies are actually in the region who has English-speaking employees. And we have the same thing with the Green Jobs initiative, where we put some focus on jobs within the green sector, because that is also a hot topic in Denmark, the whole sustainability and the green transition. We also have a couple of programs. So one is Spouse Space that I know has been mentioned earlier today as well. So this is a program for accompanying spouses and partners. So everyone who came to Denmark because their partner found work here. And here we have different networking events. We have 4 events at a time every half a year. And then we focus on job search and networking. And then we also have an expat host program, which is for all internationals who would just maybe like a buddy. It's basically like a buddy mentor program. So you always have someone to turn to. So you could be matched with either an international who has lived here for a long time and knows Denmark, or a Dane. And so the point is to always have one to turn to, because unfortunately it has been shown in statistics that Denmark can be a little bit difficult country to make friends in. So this is also what this program is for. But otherwise, just general help with all other questions that could also pop up.
And there is a lot we just found out during the last hour, that people have a lot of questions when they come here.
Yeah.
But I think it's really nice to hear that a lot of people actually find it quite easy once they find you guys to get a job and get a social network and get a life going here in Ålborg and in Denmark in general.
Yeah.
Do you have any good advice for newcomers coming to North Denmark?
Yeah, I think I just want to say that it can be overwhelming. We realize it can be overwhelming, and it's difficult because it's a new country, it's a new culture, there are new social rules, everything is new. You have to also get ahead of the paperwork. There are so many things, and it can be overwhelming. So I just want to say that despite of this, there is help to find. Both from Sophia from Work in Denmark, but also International House North Denmark. So whatever questions you have, you're welcome to direct them at us. And then if we can't help, we will steer you in the right direction and tell you who can help with this question. But there are no questions too little or too big. So yes.
I think it's a really important work and you're doing, and a bit the same as we talked about with Sophie from Work in Denmark. You're doing a lot of link building between people coming here and you guys in International House North Denmark, and where to get to and where to talk to the right people to get a life going here in Denmark.
Yeah.
So I guess that's really, really important.
Yeah.
Well, it was really nice to hear a lot about what you're doing in International House Denmark. And I think I'll have to say goodbye for now. And maybe you'd like to say something about where do you find this once we're done, and how do people get in contact with you?
Yeah. So I also just want to say thank you for everyone who has followed this live stream. We hope that this has given you a little bit of insight into life in Denmark and how it is to work in Denmark as well. So I will make sure to send out an email later about information of where you can rewatch this live stream, because there may be some information that you would just like to hear again. And there will also be sent out some additional information from, for example, Work in Denmark and some of the other presentations we've heard here now. And otherwise, I just want to say thank you for today. It has been really nice, and we really hope that you enjoyed following this live stream. And remember, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you.